Greetings, Gunslinger Posse, and welcome to Branded for April 17th, 2024, live from Matanga's Pizzeria in Schertz, Texas, for Week 6, Game 4. He's head coach Tom Manas and general manager of the San Antonio Gunslingers. I'm Ralph Judkins, your host. Be a part of the team tonight by chiming in on the chat with your questions, your locations, enter a comment, and while you're at it, go all on and like and subscribe. Any words before we kick off, Coach? Because we have a lot to say. We didn't have a show last week, so we kind of got to make up for it here.
Ready to go.
All right, let's go. You're watching Branded live from Matanga's. Back in a moment.
How does a site work company with nearly 50 years of success maintain growth and integrity? It's simple. We employ strong leaders who ensure that each project is executed with teamwork and dedication. At Chapman Brothers, we believe in fostering innovation while upholding our unwavering commitment to quality. Join us as a manager, estimator, or supervisor and become a driving force behind our legacy. Apply now to be part of a company that values both its history and the path ahead. Chapman Brothers, where growth and integrity meet excellence.
Don't get left in the dark again. John Wayne has a full warehouse of standby generators ready for immediate installation. We'll keep the lights on, we'll keep your appliances running, even if you lose power. Call or text John Wayne today and don't pay anything until December 2024.
Spriester, Jimenez, Kasky, Ramirez.
Cars ramming into DPS troopers.
I do the behind the kitchen door.
Hear about the video of your DWI arrest?
Expect more at 10.
Tonight on the Night Beat.
Night on the Night Beat.
The Night Beat.
2023 has been a landmark year for the Indoor Football League. Our 15th season saw tremendous growth, both on and off the field. Bold steps towards a bright future, cutting-edge fan engagement, and powerful new partnerships. And we're just getting started. There will be more in 2024. Calculated growth, strong franchises, and the best indoor football on the planet. The IFL.
Welcome back to Matanga's Pizzeria, and I know the graphic as we came into the first quarter said Vegas Nighthawks, but we haven't had a show in 2 weeks, so
we're going to talk about all of them.
So let's go.
Fine.
Yeah, let's go back to San Diego.
Okay.
That was only like a week and a half ago. It seems like, given the frequency of games, this has been quite a bit of a grind.
It's almost dangerous. I mean, we played 3 games in like 9 days, 12 with travel, which is absolutely insane. As far as like, I think the guys we're in good enough shape that we can do it, barring any injuries. Where it's tough is making adjustments in short order for a new team that we're going to face, but no excuses, I want to talk about, let's start with San Diego. That's a good one. Okay, so that San Diego game, we were about a week with the team that played for us. I was real proud of them. Disappointed, of course, but it really was, if you don't count that kickoff with 1.4 seconds where we tried to lateral and make something out of nothing, it was a 1-point game. That's a team that was 3 weeks old in the Gunslingers versus a team that had been around for 5 years. So I'm real happy with a lot of the stuff that happened in the San Diego game. Of course, indoor football is centered around it being an offensive game. You know, you got the 2 high motion guys. You have the rules on defense, what they can and can't do. But I'll tell you what, it was a coming out party for our offense, I think. And defense, it was a wake-up call, what we needed to do as well. And we were feeling pretty good about going into the next game after that one. Disappointed, but feeling pretty good about it. We thought we could make enough adjustments with our current roster at that time to do that. So we went after it, you know, and came up short by 7 in that game. So, yeah, again, offensively, we're pretty good. We're humming, but we still make a lot of mistakes. Some of our coverage or reads were a little off. Some of our blocking wasn't to par, second level stuff, things like that. Defense, of course, we need to put more pressure, more gap integrity on what we needed to do to get after them. Really good coach team. Les Moss is a great coach, and he had them ready to play. So hats off to them. It's tough going 0-2 like that. And then, I think 3 or 4 days later, we were on a plane to Vegas. So Vegas, there's no excuses. We played like garbage, period. We didn't block. We didn't tackle. We didn't do our assignments. Lack of a lot of things. I mean, there's a myriad of things. Coaching was terrible. Play was terrible. It was not a good experience. And listen, championship teams are going to have bad games. We just had a bad game when we were already 0-2, which then it, exacerbates it. Not happy at all with that performance in Vegas. And we've done a lot since then. I think I talked to you about that in the pre-show. You're going to see a lot of new faces at the game tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, I can't tell you, folks, but
yeah,
please do want to come out. You do want to see this game.
We brought in some pretty special athletes. Some with great indoor experience and some with just great football pedigree that are going to come in and I think they're going to really ball out for the city, for the team, for our ownership, for themselves. And I was telling you before is that it's really tough. Sorry, I'm fighting a cold here. Excuse me. No days off. Okay, here we go. So one thing that kind of, I guess, puts it in perspective is when you have such a little amount of time to do what you need to do, but you're getting good at being in a short amount of time.
Efficient,
yeah. So we played Friday in Vegas, and we're playing on Thursday, so in 6 days. So 1 day of those is travel, 1 day of those is walkthrough. So really you get about 3 days to prepare, right? So the Tucson team played Sunday night, and from what I understand, they got on the bus last night to get here today. I think it's like 15 hours.
Well, it's 12 and a half without any breaks, nonstop.
Okay.
And so 15 hours makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
2 hour
you got to
breaks.
eat, you got to go to the bathroom and do all that kind of stuff. There's a rule on, team buses. You can only go number 1 on a team bus. So I don't know if people know that, but it's true. So you have to stop occasionally. But, the thing about it is they're going through the same thing we're going through. If you look at the standings right now, it's actually kind of, I don't know, it's kind of interesting because I want to say there's 5 or 6 teams that are 0-3.
There's 3 teams that are 0-3.
There's more than that. In both divisions?
No, I think
there's
in
5.
ours
There's 5
a
teams.
total of 5.
Okay.
In fact,
Thank you.
Brahma Bulletin had already chimed in. He's sitting here and says the teams we've lost to are a combined 8-1 right now.
Right.
So it wasn't like we lost to schlubs.
Here's what I always say though: when you're going against teams that are like 3-0 or 2-0 or 5-0 and all that, they haven't played each other yet.
Right.
And so once they start playing each other, someone's going to lose. right?
Right.
So those things go, fairly quick. In New York in 22, I mean, I remember that first game. It was the first game of Ironman, and I coached like crap in that game.
Well, you overcoached. You had a
did.
system. You had color codes, wristbands.
Yeah. I just, instead
hand
of just
signals, tattoos.
Yeah, not quite, but close. And, we lost that game. Then we won like 4 or 3, and then we lost 4 in a row, and 3 in a row. And, everyone wrote us off, and our friend Jim down in Florida, we used his soundbite at the championship game, how we were done. And then we turned around and we didn't lose again until, we didn't lose again. And we won the championship. So, listen, I've been through this before, and I will tell you, I've never been 0-3. This is all new territory to me. As a head coach, I've never been 0-3 to start a season. But I believe not only as a football coach, but also as a Christian, the good Lord's, saying, okay, a little full of yourself. We're going to fix that, one of those deals. So I'm okay with where we're at right now. I'm not happy about it, but I'm also not panicked. At this point, we're playing chess. We ain't playing checkers anymore. So we're bringing in the right people. I think you're going to, when you come out tomorrow and you watch the game, you're going to see it's virtually on defense. It's almost a brand new team. Okay, so
fans that are watching, don't ask me. I'm not going to tell you a thing.
Right.
He just told you everything.
Yeah.
You wondered if we were going to be patient, if we were going to wait.
I'm not patient.
Yeah, he's not going to. Philip Higginbotham chiming in saying Tucson is not as good as this gunslinger team, and they're on a short week and they had to take a bus. I expect their first IFL win in the Freeman tomorrow night, and Coach definitely does appreciate the jersey. He didn't even know that you had put Coach Manas on the back of it.
It was hanging in my closet, and I said, you know what? I gotta show some love to the guys and RC, and I pulled it out and I put it on. I didn't even look at the back of it. He said, it says Coach Manas on the back, and I said, oh, that's really cool. So thanks again, guys. I sure appreciate it. I'm gonna wear it a lot more. But getting back to what we were talking about too, right, is that you have 2 choices when you're 0-3. You can start saying the nasty word rebuild, or you can start saying the word, get off your butt and do what you're supposed to be doing. And I'm more of a get off your butt, let's see what we can do thing. Hey, listen, we're not going to play to lose. We're going to play to win. And so we're going to get the right formula figured out. It's a player's game. Coaches can put you in a position to make a play, but you got to make a play. And I'm confident in the men we have in our organization. That's why, and I told Pam Reckler this the other day, because she's probably my most passionate person that I talk football with. And one of the things she said to me, she said, we're going to be okay, right? And I said, oh, yeah, we're going to be fine. And I said, you got to understand something. When you're 0-3, they never see you coming. That's one. And 2 is, as soon as you turn it around, you already know what to do, what you've done wrong. And then once you do it right, then it's real easy to emulate it. The problem with losing is, just like winning, it can become habit forming. And I'm not going to let that happen. I'm just not going to let that happen with this organization. And my resolve has not changed. I'll see you in August in Vegas. I mean, I'm still a believer in that. I really am. If you look at the teams that won championships in the last couple, they're 11-5. They're this or that. They've lost 5-6 games, and they're in the championship. So we're okay. We're okay, and I think we're going to be okay moving forward, especially starting tomorrow.
All right, sounds like our cue to go ahead and move forward through the show. We'll be back with the second quarter. You're watching Branded live from Matanga's Pizzeria in Schertz, Texas.
Quality. Here at John Wayne, it's not just a word, it's our foundation. From the people we employ, to the service that's provided, to the equipment that we design and install, quality matters. For nearly 20 years, providing quality Texas comfort to the San Antonio area communities has been our highest priority. For quality you can count on, call John Wayne today.
It's so easy to love Pick and Pull. Why? How about the largest inventory in South Texas? How about the ease of finding your part with our interchange and real-time inventory search at pickandpullsa.com? How about an organized yard and maps to find your parts, plus a shuttle? At Pick and Pull, we make it easy to save money on the quality used auto parts you need at a price you can afford.
More to pick, less pull from your budget. Now that's Pick and Pull.
Hi, this is head coach Tom Manassa of the San Antonio Gunslingers. I'll tell you what, right now is the best time in the world to buy your season tickets. 2024 is going to be historic. For $9, starting at $9 a month. How can you beat that? Can you believe it? $9. Don't make me come down there and send you off to the train station.
And welcome back to Batangas for the second quarter. Okay, 0-3, plane trip back. Reminds me of the very, very old joke. But other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
Yeah, right. Okay, so
I didn't get any laughs here, but then again,
no,
it's that old
because
joke.
It was a horrible joke.
It
okay,
is.
so
It is.
Anyway, I love you, Ralph. Okay, so here's the thing: is that we're getting on the plane to go to Vegas, and guys are still packing ice packs and stuff.
Right.
The week before, and we get on we're walking through the airport, and I probably had a dozen people, including the TSA guy, including 2 TSA people, including them and some fans, come up to me, walk into the gate, and saying how absolutely excited they are, and go get them, coach, and you guys are great, and all this. And I said, well, okay. I was in New York for 2 years. No one ever talked to me at the airport. I won 2 championships, so I guess we're doing okay. Get on the plane, and the first thing I usually do on a trip like this is I sucker the stewardess into a joke. So what we did is we knew ZB's birthday was Monday.
Right.
So Coach Richardson and I wrote a script for her to read, and she thought it was real. So we said, we want to wish Zach Brown a happy birthday. Zach is a former All-Pro Baltimore Ravens, because that's his team. He was All-American at the University of Georgia, because that's what he likes. He loves Georgia. And then he's in the Hall of Fame at Tipton, which is true. And so we just poured it on thick, and she got on the air, and she's reading this thing. And
so 2 lies and a truth.
Oh, my God. And she made him a mock birthday cake, the stewardess, and she took it. The guys were going crazy. They're laughing. So anyway, while we're there, and she said, I got to tell you that your team, they fly a lot of teams, and she said, these are some of the nicest young men I'd ever met. And I said, perfect. That's what, proud dad wants to hear.
That's what you built,
right?
Yeah.
So I said, have you ever been to a game? And she said, no. I go, are you stationed out of Vegas? And she said, yeah. And I said, would you like to go tomorrow night? And she said, oh, my God, yeah. And I don't have my kids tomorrow night. One of those. She can have a girls' night.
Perfect opportunity.
So we got all the flight crew, the girls, all said yes. They wanted to be at the game. Then the pilot and the co-pilot, he wanted to come. And then they started asking, can we bring our husbands? And can we bring our boyfriends? And
that's what you get for asking. Next thing you know.
I was glad to do it. We ended up with 12 people there at the game, and they were cheering us on, and they were great. And
in Vegas. A flight crew from Vegas cheering for the away team.
Well, that's not the best part. The best part is they're all putting in for layovers on our game nights. So when they come here, they'd like to stay here so they can come to the games. Yeah.
So we now have a flight crew.
Hey, we're 0-3, but
we're
getting there. Okay.
We got a flight crew, baby.
We got a flight crew. So, okay. I wanted to share that story I was telling you about. Okay, so I'm in Vegas. I'm sitting in the hotel room. We didn't get back there till probably 11:30. We got to be up at 6 for the bus to go to the airport. I usually don't sleep on those things at night. the night after, especially after a loss, and I'm watching things, waiting for VidSwap to pop up, and I'm watching it on YouTube and just really upset. And a very good friend of mine calls me up, and he's one of my prayer buddies that we'll call each other and say prayers on the phone together. We'll just kind of just keep each other's chins up when we're down. And even when we're blessed and everything's going great, we always pray and thank God for that. So he calls me up, he goes, I'm going to tell you a story, and this is a true story. I said, okay. So mind you, I've got, on my bed in Vegas, I've got like 2 legal pads. I've got, my script from the game. I've got the stats. I've got everything, and I'm just trying to figure things out. And he calls during that time. And he says, there's a little boy that's born without a left arm. And his dad is kind of like you, Coach. He's going to want his boy to be active regardless of the infirmity that he has. And he goes out and tries to get him on a baseball team. No one will take him. Tries to get him on a football team. No one will take him. So he says, okay, I'm going to take him, go get him into karate. Nobody would take him. One older sensei said, I'll take him to my dojo, and, he'll be okay. 12 months goes by. He's at this dojo. And in 12 months, he only learned one move. So on the 12th, or on the year anniversary, the sensei entered him in a national tournament. It's a 12-year-old kid, no left arm, knows one move. So he goes and has his first bout, and he wins. In about 10 seconds, he flips the guy, and it's automatic win. Done. See ya. Everyone's surprised. Kid's surprised. Dad's surprised. Sensei's not surprised. Next match, he does the same thing to another kid. Takes about 10 seconds, flips him, wins. Now he's in the finals. He's going against this big kid, been in karate his whole life, one of those deals. Flips him in like 8 seconds and wins. Okay? And so now the dad is really confused, and the kid's confused, and he says, hey, you got to tell me, how in the world is it that we only know one move and we win this tournament? And he said, the move I taught you, the only counter to that move is to grab the left arm. But that's true. So I take all the papers on my bed and I throw them in the garbage. You don't need to have a bunch of stuff to be really good, right? That's how I started thinking. So let's simplify it, and let's be great at this. Let's be great at this. Let's be great at this. Let's not be too slick for our own good. So I shared that with the team when we got back and we had our first practice. I shared this story with them, and I said, we're going to play like they can't stop us. But we're not going to play like we're going to try to trick them. We're going to play like this is what we got. We're bringing everything we got at you. And the guys loved it. So I can't thank my friend enough. He got me through the night, But I find that story remarkable, is that sometimes you don't have to have a whole bunch to be successful. You just have to have the right stuff to be successful. Now, not to talk your ear off, but here's the kicker. This team's going to look different to our fan base, okay? We didn't change our philosophy and character and vetting and doing all that. We did that. We just had to expedite it. But we brought in some unbelievably talented football players. And I'll tell you what, I would bet my paycheck that anybody who wants to take it on, that we're going to win, and we're going to win in a way that is, it shows how hard these kids have worked. Not just the new guys, the guys that we have, the guys that have been on the practice squad, the guys that are coming off injured reserve, those guys. It's the entire organization. It's the coaching staff. The coaches have been working their butts off. April and Miss Stephanie and Morgan and all them and James and everyone and even this guy over here, Yeah, there you go. So we're all contributing because that win is going to belong to everybody, and I think that's what I'm most excited about. Is I want to be the guy handing Don Rackler and James Stubing a football in the locker room after the game and say, "Here's to your first IFL win." I want to do that so bad, you have no idea. And I think this plan puts us in place to do that. I don't care who knows it, so that's it.
As far as talking my ear off, that's kind of what I'm here for, Coach.
Yeah, I got
really.
you. I got you.
That's why I wear this.
No, I
this keeps the ears on. So.
I appreciate it.
Waiting to see any questions, but I think you've been answering more questions. I think you've been telling them what I honestly expected you to tell them, Coach, which is you cannot expect that this coaching staff and these players are just going to sit around and say, "Oh well, okay, so how can we rewrite this as happy to glad and make small changes, or not be serious about it, or worse, start pointing fingers."
Oh, well, I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the things I told the coaching staff right after the game in Vegas is it would be very easy for a normal team to splinter. This would be the perfect opportunity for a team to splinter. The offense against the defense,
yep.
The whole bit. And no, I mean, that just didn't happen. And one is I wanted to make sure it didn't happen with the coaches too.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure the coach, and it wouldn't, with the caliber of coaches we have, but I had to do it. I had to say it out loud, right? And because if that would happen, we'd be having a completely different discussion about the future here, right? The fact that the character-based organization, God Family Football, is embedded in these guys is going to be the reason why we win. It's not going to be, when other teams start to splinter, and you've seen online how fights have broken out on benches now, right? And owners are writing apologies, and God love Jacksonville. I know what they're going through. Trust me, right? But for him to write a letter to apologize to the fans of their record, screw that. I'm never going to apologize. I'm gonna give my best effort, and if my best effort isn't good enough, fire me.
Right.
Okay, but I'm not going to apologize for effort. Because basically at that point you're saying, hey, sorry. And again, I love those guys because that takes big cojones to be able to do that, right? And I think I get the point that they were coming off a championship in the NAL. Now, the other one, the letters I saw was, please forgive us for our behavior, our players on the bench, and da-da-da.
That was a different team. That wasn't Jacksonville.
That was a different team.
Right.
Yes. No, Jacksonville's classy. I mean, and so's the other team. It's just an incident. And, but that's the whole point is I don't want to ever see, and if it was ever going to happen, it would have happened by now. At 0-3? Oh, yeah. It happened to me in Toronto. I saw a locker room divided like quick, and it took a lot of work to repair it.
Well, we're starting to get some questions and follow-ups, so let's go ahead and take those in the third quarter then. You are watching Branded Live from Matanga's Pizzeria in Schertz, Texas. We'll be back with your questions, and in the fourth, a preview of the game against the Tucson Sugar Skulls. Viva Fiesta, back in a moment.
Hey San Antonio, are you tired of the same old chain pizza that tastes like cardboard? I thought we were done eating paper in school. Maybe not. It's up to you. At Matanga's, we bring you flavors that are authentically Texan. We're talking about fresh dough that we made in store every single day. We're talking about cheese that's shredded in store for that authentic cheese flavor. We're talking about brisket because this is Texas, y'all. We're talking about our Texas rolls. Can't get those anywhere else. We're talking about Texas ranch because when you put jalapenos and ranch together and you dip it in with pizza, just drink it. Lastly, we got a pothole pizza because we had to name a pizza after our roads. You know what I'm talking about. Can't wait to see you soon. Find a Matanga's near you.
It's like literally like hockey and football had a baby.
Type of action you'll never see in the NFL. Gunslingers, let's go, baby! Woo!
That's the best entertainment there is. Once you've been to a game, you're going to get hooked.
And welcome back to Matenga's Pizzeria here in Schertz, Texas. And I alluded to some comments that would relate to mostly the preview of the game. Philip Higginbotham asking the question, is one of the changes on defense looking towards the pass rush? It seems like some disruption of the quarterback might force some offense mistakes that we can take advantage of.
Yes.
Okay, I thought that's what you were going to say.
No, Phil. Here's the thing. Yes, we obviously want more pressure, but we want more controlled pressure, because in this game, these quarterbacks are so mobile that if you just go, elbows and buttholes, and you just go at it, you leave gigantic gaps for the quarterbacks. So it's kind of a catch-22. When they have an empty backfield, you'd think, oh, let's go attack the quarterback. Yes, but controlled. Because what can happen is now they have 4 receivers. So you have your jack linebacker, your strong safety. He's out of the box. He's in coverage. You have the other 3 guys in coverage. You have the MAC linebacker sitting there. If you send the MAC linebacker and he jukes the MAC linebacker,
there's nobody. He's gone.
And we experienced that in Vegas. So in the first quarter. So that was something that, yes, we're going to get better with pressure. We've got some new faces on the defensive line this week that I think will do just that.
Wanted to highlight Monica Martin of Sports Coast to Coast joining us.
Okay.
Big fan website. Let's see, a couple other comments here. I guess this would relate to the Nas game. Leonardo Lamas, also of the Smoking Guns podcast. They're heavily in our feed tonight. Yep. What is the biggest single change the fans should look for tomorrow night that we should get excited about? I think you've actually said this multiple times without naming names.
The offense, we haven't made any significant changes whatsoever. I think that on offense, Lacoby Tucker's getting better every week. He's still a ways away, too, from being where he wants to be. But I've never seen a harder worker. I mean, an hour and a half after practice, he's still in the practice field. He's just a tremendous worker. And he'll get to where he wants to be. But overall, the entire offense is pretty much going to be, that, but execute a little bit better, okay? Defensively,
I wanted to comment briefly on the offense.
Yeah.
Harper. This is a rookie, yes?
Yes.
This is a rookie playing
running back.
As a running back. He has 9 receptions. He is a consistent threat to run, and he's a rookie.
Right. He's going to get better. Like I said, we're going to get better every week, okay? And offensively, we have the tools there to do that. Defensively, we've had to make some adjustments. I think I've let go 6 or 8 guys, primarily defensive players, and that we've replaced them with guys that I've either coached or know about that I feel very comfortable with. And the players that we let go, it's not that they weren't great football players. It's just we don't have time for them to make the adjustment. It's one of those deals. It's funny because one of our fan favorites, Robert Fuentes, I love the kid. He's the kid we sent at the tryout. He's part of that video, Diamond in the Rough, right? He was just having a heck of a time breaking into that lineup, and he still had to learn some things. So I said to him, I go, listen, I'm going to be letting you go, but if you want a job, I'll make a phone call right now and you'll have a job. And he said, I just want to play. And I said, okay. He's on his way to Corpus Christi, and
he's going to be playing with the Tritons.
Yeah, he left. I mean, he literally went and packed his hotel room and got in the car and went down there. We're stacking that team down there because most of our guys will drive 2 hours south. And,
sure, to play.
Yeah, and
to play,
I better get a coach, if you're listening, I better get a ring because, we sent you everybody. But, yeah, no, it's good, though. It's good because, like I told these guys when they came to camp, even if we can't use you, we're going to try our darndest to get you jobs, So.
Brahma Bulletin here at the show. Are you still going to be aggressive on offense? Specifically, we really haven't attempted a field goal. Still going for it on fourth down.
I hate field goals, man.
That's actually an Eastern Conference thing to kick a field goal. We generally don't in the West.
Yeah, but not even anywhere I've ever been. 4th and 19, I'm going. I mean, if you got our offense, why wouldn't you go, right? I love going for it. We've got a great kicker, don't get me wrong, in T.C. Stevens, but that's still a very hard thing to do. I like our odds better getting the first down, to be honest with you. Now, aggressive, oh yeah. The reason we probably didn't score more points in Vegas was I asked Coach Fuller to slow it down a little bit because every time they got the ball, they scored.
Right, and
so
this made sense. That's why we had 9 play drives.
Right, can you please slow it down a little bit so we can get a handle on this? And he did, and that was a big help, and then we didn't capitalize on it. Like I said, it was not a good overall game, offensive, defense. Everything was, we had holes in our game for sure.
Well, the questions keep piling up about Tucson. Should we head into the fourth quarter and take some more of those then?
Yeah,
because
this cold is kicking my butt.
Yeah. I don't want to keep you up too terribly late. We'll be back with our fourth quarter and more of your questions and comments. You're watching Branded live from Matanga's Pizzeria in Schertz, Texas.
Quality. Here at John Wayne, it's not just a word, it's our foundation. From the people we employ, to the service that's provided, to the equipment that we design and install, quality matters. For nearly 20 years, providing quality Texas comfort to the San Antonio area communities has been our highest priority. For quality you can count on, call John Wayne today.
How does a site work company with nearly 50 years of success maintain growth and integrity? It's simple. We employ strong leaders who ensure that each project is executed with teamwork and dedication. At Chapman Brothers, we believe in fostering innovation while upholding our unwavering commitment to quality. Join us as a manager, estimator, or supervisor and become a driving force behind our legacy. Apply now to be part of a company that values both its history and the path ahead. Chapman Brothers, where growth and integrity meet excellence.
Hi, this is head coach Tom Manassa of the San Antonio Gunslingers. I'll tell you what, right now is the best time in the world to buy your season tickets. 2024 is going to be historic. For $9, starting at $9 a month. How can you beat that? Can you believe it? $9. Don't make me come down there and send you off to the train station.
And welcome back for the fourth quarter here live from Matanga's Pizzeria. More of your questions. Oh, you got me started, Coach.
See that?
Yeah, it might have been dandruff. Dandruff or dust. Texas Pete, what is the main threat that you want to contain against Tucson?
The main threat?
Yeah.
Well, they're a good football team, offensively and defensively. I think their record is not indicative of how good they are, right? And I think the biggest threat is it's a Billy Back coach football team, and he's a good coach, and he's going to have them ready to play. We watched tons of film on them, but again, that doesn't mean they're going to run what they've run before against us. I'm sure we've given them a lot to look at that they want to try to expose, and hopefully we fix that. So.
And more conversation about field goals. Monica
God.
Martin saying Kevin Guy has kicked more field goals this season than he had the Rattlers do all of last season. Kind of surprising.
And they're 1-3.
Which, when we get the win this week, we will also be 1-3.
Yes.
And Philip Higginbotham with a possible explanation. The field goal unit in the outdoor game spends hours prepping for kicks, while in this level the snappers and holders just don't have quite as much time to prep just for kicks.
Well, it's that and the fact that the goalposts are 10 feet wide, not 14.
And 15 feet off the ground.
Right,
and,
right.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of factors that go into that, right? So, yeah. And listen, I know TC, if I asked him to kick a field goal, he'd kick a field goal. But most of the time, so far, 3 points don't help us. We got to get in there and get some points on the board and keep points off the board. We got to have stops on defense. That's the biggest key to a football game. Everyone says offense, offense, offense. Yeah, and it is. But our goal has always been and will remain to get one stop per quarter, and we know if we get one stop per quarter, we're going to win the football game. Problem is we haven't achieved our goals yet.
Right,
so.
On both sides of the ball.
Right. Correct.
A comment unrelated to Tucson from Texas Pete. Are the player transactions ever going to be posted between games? Last season, they were.
Yeah, no, not by me. I'll never post them. And that's not trying to be disrespectful or not transparent, but, God, you'd be a horrible coach if you put your laundry out there this early, because they're gonna definitely look at, what you're trying to accomplish with the personnel you're trying to accomplish it with and that kind of thing. And, yeah, I appreciate that you guys want to know and you're great fans, but good Lord, unless they make me, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it ever. Yeah. So.
Okay, so that would be the answer to that. So we didn't talk about it, but there has to be this week. There wasn't one in the previous show or even the show before that. There has to be a burr under the coach's saddle this week somewhere, and I haven't given you a moment to talk about it. So with no warning whatsoever, Coach, what is the burr underneath your saddle blanket for this week, besides being asked what the burr under your saddle blanket is?
I think the biggest burr is the amount of games and the amount of days that they've asked us to play. I think that probably burns me the most. And not just me. I know other coaches that are going through similar things. I think that we've got to be cognizant of the fact that it's not really safe, to play that many games in short order. I mean, listen, we do pre-practice treatment, we do post-practice treatment. It takes a minute to heal after playing a football game. And when you negate that time frame, I think that it just becomes counterintuitive of having the best product on the field.
Now, without giving away too much information or any information at all, you made a conscious decision going through camp and practice that the crew was not going to be hitting on each other, that we were going out there in shells, we were going out there without being too physically aggressive to minimize that wear, even in camp, while guys are trying to prove themselves and get a slot on the team.
Well, here's what I've always done, and it's worked really well for me, because I believe the best team in this league is not going to win the championship. I believe the healthiest team in this league is going to win the championship.
In that last few weeks of the season.
Right.
Yep.
That's why July's either a winning month for people or a killer for people. Look at Arizona, man. I was watching Kevin's game on YouTube, and how many guys has he gone through? I mean, just bunches and bunches. Anyway, so what I always do is when we put out the itinerary for the day, I'll say, okay, we're in helmets, we're in softs. Softs are soft shell shoulder pads, and let's say jerseys, or I'll say helmets, shoulder pads, and shorts. We never wear football pants at practice. We never jump on the ground for a fumble because that's how legs get taken out. We never block below the waist at practice. Now, when we're in shoulder pads and helmets, we go 100%. It's just everything from the navel up, okay? And if the ball goes on the ground during a play, we just all put our hands up like this. If a receiver's running down the field and you know as a defensive back, all you got to do is whack them, right? We don't whack them. We put our hands up like I'd have had the play, right? And vice versa with, with obviously with Sam at quarterback and also our linemen and that kind of thing too. So everything we do is with the understanding that, we're going to play our best. We still wrap and tackle. We still do all those things. We just don't do them below the waist because and that's why we've been I've been very, very lucky in the last 3 full seasons. We never had an injury of any substance at all at practice, including a concussion. So, yeah, pretty happy about that.
So that's why we stay healthy, and that's why we're going to get the win coming up tomorrow.
Right.
It's already tomorrow. Dang.
I do want to ask the fans to say a quick prayer for Mr. Stallworth. He did tear his ACL, and that's a season-ending injury for him. And he's going to have his surgery, I believe, on Friday. And so if everyone can just say a little quick prayer for him, that everything goes well, and we look forward to having him back next year.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And our player who had his arm wrapped up.
Oh, yeah. Well, Victor Hampton, he broke his hand, I think, that was in the Northern Arizona game.
Against the Wranglers at home.
At home. And he wanted to go back out and play right away. And he had a clean break in his hand. And 2 days later, he was at practice wrapped up. And we ordered a special club for him.
Yep.
And, again, that's a testament to these guys wanting to play.
And he was so frustrated when he was not able to pull in that ball in the end zone for what would have been our first interception of the year, because he had it.
Yep.
He had it. If he could have closed, he could have wrapped, he could have done anything with it, he'd have come down with that ball.
He'll be back in full force 4 to 6 weeks. I put him on injured reserve, short-term injured reserve now, so he can not have the pressure of coming back to play a game on Thursday, and which is crazy because, Monday and Tuesday he was on the practice field, so, yeah.
Some guys,
that's why you love them.
Yeah, they just do. Well, I think we finally exhausted the questions coming in on the stream, and we've exhausted Coach's patience. Need to let him go.
No.
As far as the health goes.
Yeah, I mean we have a
You're
game.
starting to have fun now, and it's you're feeling
not
a little better.
Not that much. No, I'm just kidding. No, I love talking to our fans, and we, sorry again about last week. It was such a short week with travel, and again a short week this week, and then you had the flu on top of it and everything else. But I'm glad we got the opportunity to do that and visit with everybody, and we're going to be back in full force. We got a whole week next week, which I'm really excited about.
First time this year.
Yeah, and I want to get some players on next week and hopefully talk about the win and all that good stuff. So, yeah, it's going to be good.
But we need to see you there, folks. Come out to the Freeman Coliseum. Seats are available. In fact, right now you could make Weston Cole's phone ring. He's sitting right off the camera here to the side. Wave to the fans, Coach. Wave there, Weston. There you go. That's Weston right there. Phone lines are still open. Come out and
does it
call
look
Weston.
empty in here tonight? Huh?
It's a little quieter than we'd have liked. I think I'd like to think everyone's preparing for Fiesta starting tomorrow.
Yeah. I asked somebody, I go, what is Fiesta? And he goes, well, it's Hispanic Mardi Gras.
Yes.
And that was the best way I've heard it described so far.
Well, it's also a massive fundraiser throughout the town. You'll hear about people being in this court or that court. You don't get there. It's not a popularity vote. It is literally a vote of how much money you raised for whatever the cause is that you represent. So it is a massive giving back to the city. And I got to remind everyone yet again, what is the purpose of the San Antonio Gunslingers? According to our owner, Don Rackler, this is a give back to the working class people of this city. Yep. There are other professional teams, but it's a lot of money to go there. It costs you twice as much or 3 times as much to park for that other football team that's playing. Not complaining about it. Hey, we've got their logo right here. Yeah. It's great that we have spring football in 2 different teams in San Antonio. Right. But we are certainly the more affordable option. Right. And that's what Don wanted, was a give back to the working class people of San Antonio. Fiesta is the spirit, folks. Viva Fiesta. Come on out. We are going to have folklorio dancers. We are going to have mariachi bands. One of my personal favorite mariachi bands will be playing at halftime. Go Judson High School. Your mariachi is going to be out there on the field. That's my high school. Just doing a little plug for them.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess that'll do it for the show. Then we'll wrap this one up. When we return, any final comments before we call this one a win?
No, I just would tell the fans, I've been doing this a long time. Don't think this book's been written yet. It sure hasn't. So.
And we'll be back with our wrap-up. You're watching Branded Live from Matinga's Pizzeria in Schertz, Texas.
Hey San Antonio, are you tired of the same old chain pizza that tastes like cardboard? I thought we were done eating paper in school. Maybe not. It's up to you. At Matanga's, we bring you flavors that are authentically Texan. We're talking about fresh dough that we made in store every single day. We're talking about cheese that's shredded in store for that authentic cheese flavor. We're talking about brisket because this is Texas, y'all. We're talking about our Texas rolls. Can't get those anywhere else. We're talking about Texas ranch because when you put jalapenos and ranch together and you dip it in with pizza, just drink it. Lastly, we got a pothole pizza because we had to name a pizza after our roads. You know what I'm talking about. Can't wait to see you soon. Find a Matanga's near you.
For generations, the family recipes at Carrabba's Italian Grill have been bringing people together. From the sweet smell of our scratch-made sauce to our rich layers of lasagna, we believe food made with love leads to tables filled with laughter. Dine with us or order out at Carrabba's.com.
2023 has been a landmark year for the Indoor Football League. Our 15th season saw tremendous growth, both on and off the field. Bold steps towards a bright future, cutting-edge fan engagement, and powerful new partnerships. And we're just getting started. There will be more in 2024. Calculated growth, strong franchises, and the best indoor football on the planet. The IFL.
Welcome back to Matanga's Pizzeria. This will wrap up our Week 6 show. Make sure you have liked and subscribed before you go.
By the way, we're over 50,000.
We made it over 50,000 views. Yes, we did. And some of those viewers are very near and dear to Coach, and he has a special message for them, as always.
Okay, Miss Susan, she's in Budapest, by the way.
In Hungary.
In Hungary. Travel safe. I know you're coming home tomorrow. I love you. Eli, Liliana, and Mila, time to go to bed. Love you.
This has been Branded for April 17th, 2024. And as always, folks, keep your guns up. Good night, everybody.